well, looks like it's time, so let's go. Hello. Oh my goodness, my hair is so fluffy. Hello. How is everybody? I have a few different little projects we're going to work on today. Got a couple of like little commission things to sort of finish up. And then we're going to re-pour. I made these on stream recently, and they have little flowers and stuff in them. But we decided that it's maybe a little bit hard to see them with the dark green, so I'm gonna do these with clear instead. So we're gonna make those again. So that's gonna be kind of a redo. I also am gonna make a necklace to match this set of dice. It's another little custom thing. So to match all the glitter and everything in there. And I went and found what I'm pretty sure is the same color. So I think I've got all the stuff for this. And then let's see, we made this tray. On stream. Ended up, I was originally going to back it in black. But like it kind of ended up with a cool design in there, so I think we're going to do clear instead, so you can see just kind of this cool design through the center. Alright, yeah, I think that's that. And then I should have enough resin left over. Just saying, there's just a little flake of something right here. Oh, skip. But anyways, I should have enough resin to do a set of just a regular 7-piece set of dice and maybe another set of fate dice. So for the regular 7-piece set of dice, or 8-piece actually set of dice, I'm gonna try doing kind of like a chai themed one with kind of, you know, a brown with a kind of swirls of some white in there. That just seems nice. Also, chai sounds nice. I just have black tea. I should have had chai. Now that I'm thinking about it. And then I'm not sure what I want to do if we do have enough for another set of fate dice. I haven't really decided on that. Maybe we'll... Yeah, I don't know. So if anybody has any ideas, I'm open to ideas on the second set of fate dice. But I think we can start getting stuff ready while we think on that. I did pull out the various things for like that necklace, and this is just going to have clear on the back, so I'm just going to use whatever resin is left over to back this thing. I'm thinking it's going to be easy to do this in the mold, because I think I might need a little bit on the back. It has like chains in it that I had sticking out the back, and then I cut those down, and I did that so that they wouldn't like sink in the mold, but that does mean that there's kind of an air bubble here. It does mean that they're kind of sticking up a little bit, so I want to make sure I have enough resin to actually cover those so that this lies flat. I'm gonna have to think on how I'm gonna finish the edges though, but that's okay, we can do that. So yeah, this is just going to be whatever resin is left over, whatever clear resin is left over. So those are pretty set to go. I do think I need to pull out some more plants. I pulled out some from the last time that I made the set with all the plants and stuff in it. But I think I'm going to need some more. So I have a good little bit right there, but we'll pull out the container and grab some more. I think that's probably what we'll do next, actually. Get that done. Let me pull this down. So I got my box of plants. Alright. We're just going to pull out some little tiny ones that'll fit into a set of dice. That's the goal here. So I need to look through and figure out what's going to fit in a set of dice. I do really like these. I like the leaves that just kind of look like other leaves but smaller, because those always seem to work out well. They really fit in kind of with the theme, I guess. They make it look like it's part of something. Make it look like it's something that's been scaled down as opposed to a bunch of tiny things, if that makes sense. And that's kind of what I'm going for. I want it to look kind of like a forest floor, more so than, like, what am I trying to say? I want it to look more like a forest floor than like a, do I have another tiny clover? A bunch of little tiny plants. It is a bunch of little tiny plants, obviously, but, excellent. I do have another little clover. I could go even smaller, but I think that size will be good. I think that size will be good. It'll actually be visible. So I'll do that. I should really pick some more clover because I do like how those end up looking. Alright, and I've got a whole bunch of random little bits and bobs over here. Let me see if there's any that look good. So I want to grab a bunch of like small flowers and leaves and stuff that will look appropriately small. Like, these might be good, but they might be a little bit big. I'm not sure. And I don't know if I might want to think about color, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Now that these are going to be in clear, the color is going to be a lot more apparent. And I do really like these. These have kind of like a faint purple hue to them. Just going to break that off, put that in there. But maybe some of these yellow ones, I'll set them a little bit of those off to the side. And I do have some other things here, like these flowers and little, I think they're little buds. I'll show them to you. I'll show you close up. Here's the flowers and buds. So we'll grab those. I think I already have, yeah, I have a few of those in here already, but that's okay. Okay. Let's see here. What else do I have that I want to add to this? Let me look at my leaf bin here. I guess I could always add, oh, I like these leaves. These ones are kind of fluffy. But they look like little tiny branches, so they work out perfectly for this. Add a couple of these. What was I saying? What was I saying, actually? Something about leaves, I think. I don't remember what I was just saying. Oh, here's a little tiny piece of leaf. It's not even a full leaf, but it'll add to the foliage. I just want a lot of different textures and stuff in here. Alright. Yeah, not a ton in there. Those are mostly larger leaves, it seems like. Let me see. Let's see if I have a tiny leaf in this bag. There's mostly larger leaves, I think, but might be something that would be small enough to go in a die. That one might be small enough. I think it'd be rather close. I don't want it to be like the only thing in the die either. That's the real issue that I'm working with here. So I want it to look comparable to like the other stuff that's in there with it. I don't want it to overtake everything. Well, we'll set this one in here. We may or may not end up using it. We'll see. We'll see how it looks. See how it looks. Alright. There's a little fluffy bit of something. We'll put that in there too. Why not? Alright. Let's see here. Hi, Drebo. How you doing? You say hi all, but I think it's just you and me here at the moment. It's been quiet so far. I'm remaking a set of dice that we did before in a slightly different color. And let's see, what else am I doing? I'm kind of working on just a bunch of little things, like finishing up this tray, doing the back to it, doing a necklace. Just lots of little things today, lots of little things, which always takes, oh good, glad to hear it. Which always takes some time and stuff, but hopefully not too long. Oh, let me grab some of these. Yeah, I'm looking for some like small flowers at the moment that I think will fit in the dice. Little things are fun. It definitely keeps me like entertained, but at the same time, there's just a lot more like setting up because there's a lot more different materials and stuff that I've got to pull out, which just makes me like overthink a little bit. Just like, oh my gosh, do I have everything ready? Is everything here? Am I all ready to go? Let's grab. Ooh. I'm gonna grab some little tiny curls of these leaves because they're cool looking. So these were, I'll show you the, I'm redoing a set kind of. I'll show you the set. Just a second. Alright, go in your box. I don't want to crush y'all. So I made this set on stream, and it's kind of foresty, but it's in like a dark green. See if it'll focus. Yeah, see, it's kind of foresty, but it's in like a dark green. It's for a commission. And we decided that it might be a little bit dark and kind of hard to see the stuff on the inside. So I'm going to redo these again, but with clear resin instead of green. So I'm just pulling out plants for that. I luckily already had some pulled out because I just made those recently. But let's see here. Let me just trying to find a few different kinds of plants. There we go. I think that's good. I have a different plant over here that I want as well. I think. Let's see how many of them I have, because my cat keeps sitting on top of my shelf and trying to eat these. Oh yeah, we've got a couple here. The actual like flower part of these is pretty much, most of it's broken off. I can kind of see, here, let me show you the actual like, so here it is with like kind of the flower part to it. But most of that has fallen off, and so we've ended up with just this part right here. But this ends up making kind of a nice flower shape to go into dice, a nice little tiny one. So, pull out a couple of those. Could pull out, let's grab a little bit of the purple fluff too. Grab a little bit of the purple fluff and we'll put that in our container. We can use that maybe as well. Let me see. Is that everything? Oh, a little bit of this dark purple. Oh, I have a few in there already. That's okay. We'll grab a little bit more. And I've got more than enough here now, I think. Oh. It looks like I have a container over here from when I've done this in the past, because there's all sorts of, oh, this was from a different commission that I did recently. I just noticed a couple of the nightshade flowers in there. It's just like, what all do I have? What all do I have? This might be a little bit big, but I like the color. This is a nice bright purple. So I'm going to steal a smaller flower if I can, because now that I'm doing the, like I said, the clear resin, we'll be able to see the color a lot easier. All right, there's a white flower here too. We'll grab. Cool. I think that's, you know, I've just got little containers of tiny pieces everywhere, it seems. Because I have this from probably a different set that I did of stuff that was going into a die. Oh well. Oh well. I'll have to combine all of those at some point. Combine all of these. But let's grab all of our stuff. We'll start putting these together. So the plan I have, I'm gonna make a necklace that matches these dice. These dice right here. I'm gonna be pouring the another layer on this tray that we made on a different stream. And I was going to do a black background, but I'm going to do clear now just so you can kind of see that cool design in the middle. Wasn't necessarily expecting that design to happen, and then it just ended up cool. So we're going to do clear. And then I've got the plant ones, obviously, that I'm working on. And then I want to do a set of like chai sort of themed dice with like some like nice browns and some like white in there, all kind of swirling together. But so I need to do another layer on here. Oh man, so I did have a listing for custom trays in my shop at one point, and then like they never sold. They never really happened. But I'm working, sneak peek, I'm working on setting up my own website where I'm not charged for every listing that I put up, so I think I will probably just bring those back and leave them in my shop even if no one orders, because I might as well. It doesn't hurt anything. Alright, so I've got my mosses, got my plants. Let's fill these in. Oh, where I was going with this, I was going to do a 7-piece set that's kind of chai tea themed. But I think I'm going to have enough resin for maybe one more set of fate dice. So if anybody has any ideas. Oh, well, with Etsy I am, because I'm charged for the listing. So, but if I have my own site where I'm not charged for the listing, I'm not losing anything to have it up in my shop. So that's why I don't have it up in my shop right now, is because with Etsy, like, you know, yeah, it just wasn't profitable. But if I have it up in my own online store where I'm not charged per listing, it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I have it there or not. I might as well. So I'm hoping, my plan is to have my new site, have like the next restock is just going to be on my own site. So beginning of, what is it? It's August now. Beginning of September. Beginning of September. I've got it pretty much put together. And so when I do my next shop restock, I'll probably move over there, which is exciting and terrifying because it means I'll have to drive my own traffic. But it's, I don't know, I think I've gotten to a point where it's just going to be kind of nicer. There's just a lot more customization with having my own site. There's a lot more freedoms. There's pluses and minuses to both. Pluses and minuses to both. Okay, I've got a little bit of that moss in there. I'm going to add a little bit of a different kind of moss. I've got, this one's kind of more brown and stuff, kind of slightly different texture to it, but it just makes kind of a nice complement to this moss here. So I'm going to add a little bit of this moss, and then we'll add our little rocks. They're not actually rocks, they're also resin, and actually a couple of polymer clay pieces in here. And I made for the last time I did this. Let go. Oh, look, here's a little tiny piece. We'll put the little tiny piece in there. Why not? Actually, no, I need more than just a little tiny piece. Ah. Alright, there's that. And then let's get our little rocks in here. Oh, I might need to clean these up a little bit. I cleaned up the last ones, but it looks like I didn't clean these ones up. They're just kind of oddly shaped on the back. So I'm just gonna kind of trim them down a little bit. If they're a little bit angular, that's fine, but at the moment it's kind of overhanging weird. But yeah, so that's what I've been working on shop-wise the past week, is getting my own, hasn't even been a week actually, but getting my own shop kind of figured out, and it's very exciting. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Let's see what else we got here rock-wise. I don't know what, let's see, what else is new with me? I don't know what's new with you, but let's see, what's new with me? That's the main thing. A lot of my life is taken up by, like, business stuff, because I can't turn off my work brain. But that's fun. Also, I've just been busy with everything. That one's kind of a little dark rock, that's okay. Well, I got a haircut, but I had the haircut last stream too, so that's not super new. Let me trim this. Try not to cut myself with the scissors. That would be good if I don't try not to cut myself. I maybe should have made some more little rocks, but we're trying to get these done by a certain time too. So we'll add more of the little tiny rocks, I think. Oops. The little tiny ones that I have here with the smaller rocks. They could use some more. Use some more fluffing up. Yeah, if I can. There was a little tiny piece, but now it is gone. Oh no, it was right here, I think. There we go. Okay, let's put these in. I think I actually want to put this one into maybe this one over here. So I'm going to put this one in this one instead of the one that I had it next to, just because it has kind of a strange back to it. Oop. This one has probably the best back to it, so that'll look just fine in there. A couple pieces like rock chips, kind of. Put those in there. Man, they're kind of hard to grab with the tweezers. All right, there we go. And a couple little tiny pieces. But will the previous attempt at the set be for sale? Yes, probably. I don't know necessarily which set. So when you get a commission from me, you get up to 3 repours. And then you get your choice of which one of those. Oh, hi, Helen. How are you doing? But no, when you get a commission, you get up to 2 repours, so 3 pours total. And then you can have your choice of which of those 3 you actually want. So, assuming we don't go with the green ones, then those will end up in my shop at some point. But you know, if the person picks those, then maybe these will end up in my shop. You know, that sort of thing. But yes, extra sets do. Yeah, I was just showing the green ones. I was showing off, let's see, the green ones. Let's see if it'll focus. You can see there. It's hard to get a photo of them. I feel like they're easier to, I don't know, couldn't get a good photo of them. But yeah, so we're going to do the clear ones. But I was just saying that, like, extra sets usually end up in my shop. Not always, but usually. I have, like, this was an attempt from a commission that I did recently. And these will end up in my shop at some point. Oh, happy birthday! Happy birthday! Yeah, I bet that's busy. That sounds busy. But no worries. Glad you could make it. Oh, let me do this one too. I could do the green one as a spare, actually. think I actually need a spare with these, because I can do the green as the extra dye. But I think we'll do an extra anyways. It's just not gonna have any rocks in it, because I'd need to make more. I don't have more readily available. Yeah, they are easier to see in the video camera. I don't know, they're just hard to see on film, but they are pretty dark. So, but we'll see which one ends up better. This one I'm just gonna kind of fill with things a little bit more randomly. This is just gonna be kind of a spare. Yeah, I don't know, it might have been, I would say it was the lighting, except that it was the exact same lighting that I took the photo in. Maybe it's my camera. To be fair, I like making dice like this. I don't know, these are kind of fun. I enjoy, I don't know, I like working with botanicals, like working with florals. It's just fun for some reason. But let's see, I'm going to start putting some of these into the molds. That might be a little bit tall. Alright, there we go. Yes, I have a whole bunch of random plants here. Use one of those. Use a piece of this red leaf. To be fair, I do think with the clear, the various colors of the different things will show up more, which will be kind of interesting. Like, you know, there's some purples and some yellows and some reds and stuff in here. I feel like those will definitely be a lot more visible with just a little bit of, with the clear resin instead of the green. I know colors, I know words. Those are things I can say. Both colors and words of colors. English. Alright, let's see here. I think, oh, I want some of this, I think. I was like, the corners here are just not filled up enough. I'm going to grab some of this other kind of moss. We're going to add a little bit of that as well. Kind of fill up a couple of these corners. That's fair, yeah. That makes sense. We'll just have to figure out what color we want to ink them. That'll be the only real thing we'll have to figure out, I think, for visibility wise. But like I was just saying, like, you get your choice of dice. So, you know, I'll end up doing this repour, and then you'll get your choice. Oh, can't see purple. No, yeah. But no, you'll get your choice. So I'll do the repour, and then you can decide which set you like better. Because you get up to 2 repours. So actually, you can get up to like 3 different sets of dice made, and then you can have your choice of which one you actually want. So it kind of works out. So even if you end up liking the dark green better, we can still do that. I'm just trying to fill this in. I think I'm just going to go kind of one at a time here. Let me get some of these out so I can actually get to them. That's a piece of resin. Okay. Let's see here. So I'm working on this one at the moment, and I'll show you in just a second what I got going on so far. I think I could use a couple more leaves though. So, let's see if I can show you. It is kind of hard to show what's in the molds, I found. There you go. Doesn't look very exciting from that angle, mostly because it's kind of dark in there. It's hard to get it at an angle where you can see it and also have it lit up. But that one's starting to get full of random leaves and bits and stuff. So that's good. That's what we want. Let's put this in the corner, I think. Oops. Oh no, it's written into the listing. You get up to two free repours. You know, I want you to get what you want. That's really what it comes down to. like, I want people to be happy with what they end up with. So, you know, it's all accounted for. Plus, the extra set of dice will end up in my shop anyways. So, it works out. Let's see here. What else should I put in here? There's just a little bit of space in the corner here. I'm trying to figure out how do I want to fill that with. Maybe a little bit of this kind of darker. It's really a dark purple, but it's just very, very dark. So even if you can't see the purple, you'll still be able to see the difference in tone, I think. Alright, that one I think is pretty good. Let's see here. What do we want next? Let's do maybe one of these flowers. I haven't done one of these. I haven't done this yet. I like doing kind of different interesting things in each separate die. I feel like that just makes it more interesting. So like this one's going to have this kind of flower, and probably only this one will have this kind of flower because it's kind of big. It's kind of a focal piece. And then like a different one's going to have a clover in it. And there will just be one with a clover and just one with like this kind of flower. Here, I'll show you the flower actually. It's like these. It's kind of like these. They're not super exciting necessarily, but they're kind of big, so they take up quite a bit of space. So they end up being noticeable. Okay, let's see. Let me put this clover in here too. Figure out where I want to put this. Maybe this one. I want to get it in here so that it's going to be visible, and I don't want to break it. I don't want to break it. I kind of put it in a corner, I think, so that hopefully we can see it. And then I get covered up a little bit by the plus. That's okay. I get covered up a little bit, but yeah, that's fine. That's fine. At least now I have the clover in one of them, so I can get that. I have that put where I want it. Let's see. Let me go back to the one I was doing though. Let's see. I have lots of little leaves. Oh, good. I'm glad. Ah. Well, fine. All right. If you want to go there, you can go there. Leaves. I don't know. I really like, and this is like true with like alive plants too, not just dried ones. I really like gardens and stuff that have a lot of different like textures to them, like different shapes and sizes and tones. Not even necessarily different colors. Like everything could be like shades of green, but I love things that have like different like tones of that green. Like different, some of them are darker than others, some of them are lighter than others, and then there are just all sorts of different textures. Some are like tall, some have big leaves, some are kind of rough looking, some are kind of smooth looking. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do here, to get lots of different textures in here, as well as different tones and stuff, so that it's visually interesting in that regard too. Let's put some more moss in there. But that's the goal. Ooh, I've got a little tiny one of those flowers. Let's see if I can fit that into the same one, because that'd be cool. Yeah, perfect. Cool. We're going to do a little tiny one of those flowers in here as well. I could use a little bit more, I think, in one of the corners. Get a little bit of this moss. I agree about the different textures. Yeah, I don't know, it just makes things more visually interesting. At least in my opinion. Okay, I need a little bit of moss or something in this corner. I'm going to add... man, everything is so light that if I touch one thing against another thing, it moves it. Boy, alright. I think I could use... I'm going to add a little bit of this, more of this moss, I think. Just into the corner here, because I don't want it to be too interesting. That sounds strange. I don't want this corner to be too interesting. I'm going to have a flower right above it, and I want that to be kind of the focal point, not whatever's down in the corner there. Oh, perfect! Yeah, I hope so. I hope he likes them. But yeah, that's kind of the vibe I'm going for. It's kind of like little terrariums. I should make some more terrarium dice at some point. I do enjoy, like I said, I like working with flowers and stuff. Alright, we can use something more in this corner. What do we got? Ooh, this looks like a nice leaf. We'll add a nice leaf in that corner. Yeah, that'll fit well. We're gonna add a leaf. If I can get it in here. Perfect. Alright, that one seems all set. I don't even know where the rock went in there. Oh, I think it's maybe in the corner. Where's the rock in here? Okay, yeah, I see the rock. We're good. Cool. We've got 2 of them all ready to go. Let's move on to our next one. Let's see, what do we got? Ooh. These are a nice bright yellow. Sounds like your dad is at least partially colorblind, but even if he can't see yellow, someone else can enjoy the yellow. Yeah, I don't know, there's just something, you know, it actually, I don't know, it just feels very artistic, I guess. It's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, this is definitely making some sort of art right now. I think maybe it's because I just have a little bit more control over what they look like, which sounds weird, but with dice, like, depending on what you do, and I love doing like dirty pours and stuff, and we're gonna do one later, and that's where you put all of the colors into the same cup and then pour that into the mold. And I love how those turn out, but like it's a little bit of random chance how they turn out. And so this is just like, I am actively working to make these pretty. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. It's I don't know, it's a bit like a crafts project, I guess, where it's just like trying to figure out where all the different pieces go. I like puzzles in the same way, I guess. I do really like puzzles. So that is a nice bright yellow flower. Let's add some of this light green moss. And maybe a piece of the dark green moss. Oops. Alright, this could use some leaves and stuff in here. Okay. Okay. Yeah, to be fair, the purples that I have in here aren't really all that purple. I have this, which is almost black. So that's probably just gonna look black. And then I have like this, which is just really kind of really dark. I mean, I see it as kind of a bluish purple, but it's just very dark. And then I have like some really light, some ones that have just kind of a little hint of purple, but are really, really light. So I'm thinking in values here too, kind of lights versus darks. Trying to get kind of a mix of those. Oh, my stomach is rumbling. I did eat something this morning. How strange. I'll add that there, I guess. You can see yellow. Oh, perfect. I should do more yellow then. Maybe I should do more of these little yellow flowers. I could do a couple with yellow. If I don't drop them everywhere. I'll add one of these yellow flowers to the next one too. We'll put a yellow flower in here as well. Come on, Clover, stay against the side. Perfect, that works out. Let's see, these have, I think there's a thing with, yes, there's some like little like seed pod kind of looking things in here. Let's add those. Maybe over here. Because I think those will look interesting. I hope those, that's good, alright. Yeah, exactly. Yellow and red. Let me see if I have some red. Aha, here they are. I was looking for these. I was looking for this earlier. I have, I think this is from the Japanese maple, but it's got some definitely some red in it, so we'll use a little bit of that as well. Add a little bit of that color. Plus, I do really like this this red from the maple. I think it's from the Japanese maple. This one doesn't have much color. We're going to add it into this one. A little bit of that red color there. And I think this would actually look really good with the yellow, so I'll add some of that right next to the yellow in here too. I think this one's almost looking good. I could use some more stuff in this corner here. Use some more stuff in this corner. Maybe we'll add some of the dark things. I kind of like these, I think. It works out. That is the nice thing about streaming and having people like kind of hear while I'm making stuff, is that I can get additional information on the fly. So the really, really dark purple ones, I like them because they kind of look like little mushrooms almost, or something like that. They definitely have a different shape to them. Also, again, I like contrast. To be fair, it didn't really matter when we were talking about making the resin green. The other colors didn't really matter because we kind of wouldn't be able to see them. Kind of can't see the different colors with the green resin. So now that we're switching things up, the red and the yellow will be much more visible. Alright, let's add, let's see, I could use something in there, maybe some white, maybe something really light colored. I think that'll add some nice contrast as well. Contrast, contrast, contrast. Alright, there's that. Ooh, let's add a little bit of this because I like it. Where did it go? Oh, it's right here. I found it. Come on. Alright. Yeah, there's a little spot there. Let me see. Let me grab a little bit of this dark green. A little bit of dark green. Alright. Put that kind of in the corner there. And then there's a rock, I think. Yeah, there's a rock in that corner. So that'll be good. This one might need a little bit more moss. It's looking a little bit barren. I'm gonna do a little bit of this moss, I think. This is kind of a different texture, but it'll help fill up that space. I'm gonna kind of, this is what I'm talking about. It moves everything around. I'm gonna kind of, I think, try and shove this behind the clover in here so that the clover stays on the outside, which is what I want. I want the clover to kind of stay on the outside so you can see it, because that's going to be kind of the interesting difference in that one. It's just a 3-leaf clover, but it's a little clover. Yeah, that'll be good. And let's see here. What else do I want to add? Add that. Let's maybe add, let's see here. Some more of this red, maybe. I should try and get some more of, I don't know. So, like, I tried a whole bunch. Oh, excellent. Yeah, I do like using the moss. It makes a good base for all the other things, too. Like, it's much easier to kind of keep things upright if I have the moss in the bottom, so it works out. Works out well. Let me grab that little tiny piece. Yeah, I don't know. I tried a whole bunch of like Japanese maple leaves, and this is like the only one that turned out like bright red. The other ones are kind of green with a little bit of kind of red to them, but I don't know why that happened. It's just very strange. Let's see. Oh, I got this white flower. No, that already has a bunch of that kind of shaped flower in it. Let's add some other stuff. Oh, I've got some like little, oops, where did that go? I don't know where that went. It's now lost to time. Oh, here's some like little kind of, if only I could actually grab things with my tweezers, that might be helpful. Let go. Okay, that's almost where I want it. I do want it in this corner here. Just getting it in the direction that I want it. That's the hard part. Alright, that's good enough. And then I think we can add a little bit more along the side here. But what do we want to add? That's the real question. What do I want to add? Oh, okay, have a good day. Happy birthday. Glad you could stop by. Glad you could stop by for a bit. Maybe some more leaves. Maybe some more leaves off to the side here. Yeah, so these are almost done. I'm just finishing up this one, and then this one I'm just gonna kind of fill with a bunch of random moss and stuff. It's just gonna have all sorts of things, and because it's just gonna kind of be an extra. Just gonna kind of be an extra. I'm not gonna be nearly as finesse with that one. Let's see here. I feel like this one just has some difference in height, so maybe I'll add a little bit of taller moss. A little bit of taller moss here, and that will help with the height disparity. Kind of bring things up a little bit, because I feel like the other ones pretty much reach the top of the mold. Maybe not completely, but this one, now I'm thinking that this first one could use something a little bit more. We'll just add something into the corner here. There we go. I think that's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Here, let me see if I can show you. There we go. You can kind of see the various plants in there. It's kind of dark looking. It's kind of hard to get the light at the right angle with the camera here, but all sorts of little plants. All sorts of little plants. So those are ready to go. That's just going to have clear resin with it. Same with this. Let's start filling this. This is going to be kind of the bonus die, like I was saying. Let's do some yellow and some red stuff, because apparently the person that these are for likes yellow and red. Like I said, I'm not going finesse though. I'm just throwing all sorts of stuff in here, in whatever direction it ends up. There we go. Just a little bit of everything. Don't want it right against the edge, because I would like to avoid having any of it like overhang when I put the lid on, because that will make it difficult to sand and stuff later. It's much easier if there's a little bit of a buffer. A little bit of a buffer is nice. Just gonna add some random stuff though. I do want to get it mostly full. Mostly full of stuff. To be fair, this might end up looking kind of cool. Might end up looking kind of cool with all of its just random textures and colors and stuff in here. Maybe it's something I'll have to bring back at some point. Ooh, with maybe like some slightly shimmery resin or something. That might be cool. That might be cool. Just put a whole bunch of like different plants and stuff in there, and then like some like faintly shimmering resin. I feel like that'd look kind of cool. But let's get that filled up and ready to go. All right, I think that is good. I think that is good. So let me get this stuff put away. And we will pull everything out for the 7-piece set of dice. I'm still not sure what I want to do for an extra set of fate dice. I mean, I could do some plants. Should we do something with some plants? Maybe with these flowers. Ooh. I'm gonna, I think, put one of these flowers in each of these. They're the ones that actually kind of look like little tiny flowers. Let's see if I can get them in here. And then we'll do maybe some sort of like kind of glittering resin in there, or not necessarily, I don't know, something with some sort of glitter or something, because I feel like that'd be fun. I'm gonna do something with some sort of glitter. I need a couple more of those flowers though. Let me set this up and out of the way. Oh look, I got a couple in here. Like I said, I have random things of these of little pieces of things all over the place. Let's see if I can get this one a little bit bigger, so it'll kind of stay in there. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Add that there. All right. Cool. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with those. What color should I do? It's kind of a green. We could go, let's see, what's the opposite of green? No, not purple. Red. We could go kind of red, so we could go with like a pink. I'm almost thinking like a really light, like, something like a light purple maybe? Really light pink might be nice. It's kind of yellow green, so like a purplish pink would be kind of the opposite on the color wheel, so it'd be a little bit more contrasty. But let's see here. Like I said, I want to do maybe some sort of glitter. I have this iridescent, did I use the iridescent glitter or the holographic glitter in this? Pretty sure this, yeah, this is the holographic glitter. Okay. I do have like this iridescent glitter. That might be kind of cool with these. And then, ooh, or I always do like a good foil too. I do like a good foil. Could do like gold foil. Or have like kind of a gold copper mix. That's my new thing, is making Minecraft villager noises when I'm not sure on something. But I could also go just like weird and do like, should we do like a bigger glitter? Should we do like a bigger like pink glitter with should we do, let's try this. Let's try a slightly bigger glitter and just see what happens. Just looking at my other glitters here and trying to see if I have something that matches. I could do maybe that. What's this one? If I don't knock things over. At least that didn't come open. That would have been bad. This is actually kind of purple. And could do. Let's try it. I don't usually work with the chunkier glitter, just because it's hard to keep the glitter suspended and everything. But let's work with that, and then maybe like a little bit of shimmer to it. And I'm thinking just where's the macro pearl? Here it is. Just a little bit of, actually, I'm gonna try something else with that too. I'm gonna leave that out because I want to use that. I got this alcohol ink fairly recently. from one of you lovely people. And it is like pearl alcohol ink. We'll use a drop of that. Let's try using this to make it a little bit shimmery. I feel like that should work. We'll see what happens. I do wonder if I should color the resin at all, though. That's what I'm debating, if I want to color the resin at all. Oh! Oh, goodness! Well, hello! Arg! Uh-oh. I surrender. I surrender. But welcome to the stream. I'm working on some resin stuff. Getting everything set up at the moment. Figuring out what I want to do for this last set of dice. Oh, hi Tank, how you doing? I'm good, I'm good. Glad you guys could stop by. I'm figuring out, so I'm gonna have just a little bit of extra resin. So I was trying to figure out what I want to put in here. I've grabbed some little tiny flowers. And then I'm thinking maybe trying some pink glitter. I don't usually work with like the big chunky glitter, but I figured we could do a little bit of an experiment and see what happens. But I'm trying to decide if I want to do some sort of colored resin with it or not, or if I just want to leave it clear with the glitter in it. There's lots of options. Lots of options. But otherwise, I am pretty much ready to go. Oh, excuse me. It's good. How are you doing, Obsessed Pirate? Glad you guys could stop by. And thank you for raiding. Thank you for raiding. Okay. So we'll try that, I think. Unless anybody has an idea for a good color resin that would go with pink glitter. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Oh, that's very nice. I do appreciate that, Tink. It has been a while. Let's see here. Yeah, let me go through maybe what all we're making. So I have a couple of little things that I'm kind of finishing up. So I have this tray that we made on stream. It's a commission a little while back, and it just needs another layer of stuff on the back. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm making a necklace to match this set of dice. So they're just they're very sparkly. Yeah, we kind of met through a mutual friend, which worked out. But yeah, so we're making a necklace to match this set of dice, which I also made just, a while back. There's that. And then we are making some little kind of terrarium dice. This is also for commission. We made these already, but we made them with a dark green resin. So I can kind of show you what they're going to end up with. Like, let's see if it'll. So a little kind of terrarium. We're going to do them with clear resin this time, though, to make the things on the inside a little bit more visible. So we'll see which one we end up liking more, the green or the clear. But that's what's going on there. And then I'm doing lots of little things today. Doing lots of little things. I do want to do a set of kind of like chai, like tea themed dice, because I drink a lot of tea. So we're gonna mix up some like kind of like a light clear brown resin. That's the goal anyway. And then do kind of a swirl with some maybe like shimmery white and just a regular old white. We'll see how that looks. Let me find all of my molds. What were you guys working on before you headed over here? I'm assuming some sort of arts and crafts. Just judging by where you ended up. All right, there's that. I try to put them in order usually, just so that I make sure I don't forget anything. Ooh, building a small bookcase. That sounds like it could be fun. Are you doing it from scratch, or? Oh, you did woodworking. Okay, cool. Very cool. Woodworking is one of those things where it's just like, man, I'd love to be able to do it, but I don't want to take the time to learn how to do it. Ranting about life at the sea, as one does, as one does. So we've got that. I've got our colors here. I'm thinking I might try, oh, literally. Very cool. Yeah, woodworking, like I said, carpentry is one of those things where it's just like, there's just some beautiful things people make, and I have no idea how. We're going to try adding maybe a little bit of copper to that as well, because I feel like that just matched well. But I think, let me just grab my mixing cups for everything. Oh, I forgot to add plants to this. When I do commissions, I usually try to send along like a keychain or something with leftover resin. Let me grab my plants. So let me put, awesome. That's great to hear. I'll have to come check out your channel. Moss, that's what I was grabbing. Trying to find, I have my moss over here in little pill containers, just because it's an easy way to store it. So here's just some, what is it? Is this Reindeer Moss? Am I thinking of the right name? I don't know, it's the moss that I use all the time. Put that down at the bottom. I'm trying to make this match the dice that I just put together, but maybe a little bit more messy. Don't need it to be perfect or anything. This is just going to be kind of a little bonus thing. But we'll add all sorts of moss and plants and stuff in here. A little bit of this light green, I think. Oh man. Yeah, so yeah, if for those of you that don't know me, I'm Liz. Hello. The human part of my username is questionable, and the disaster part is perfectly literal, unfortunately. And I do resin stuff, if you couldn't tell. I also do some other stuff too, painting and all that sort of fun, those sorts of fun things, but I mostly do resin stuff. I kind of ended up here, as it were, accidentally. I'd done a little bit of resin stuff in the past, and then I decided to take up dice making, just for fun. And then I listed a couple of sets for sale on my Etsy, and it just kind of snowballed. So now that's what I'm doing. trying to make it my full-time gig. But we'll see where I end up. But I do really enjoy it. I do really enjoy it. That's true. Tink is the one that actually told me about live streaming on Twitch. Because she'd been doing a thing where she was like promoting small artists on local artists and stuff, and then mentioned that there was a crafting community on Twitch, which I didn't know about. So here I am. And now it's like, this is great. I enjoy streaming. I do it twice a week pretty regularly on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Alright, let me get everything into our mixing cups, and then I think we'll be good to go. So, I want this to match these dice, and there's kind of two different, there's kind of two different colors here, I guess. So you can be a good influence. Sometimes. How long have I been streaming? Since about Halloween of like a little bit before Halloween of last year. So a little bit less than a year. Okay. Yeah, have a great day. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for raiding. But yeah, so there's kind of two different resins here. There's kind of a clear with a foil and a glitter in it. And then there's the pink with a different glitter in it. So I need two different mixing cups. For each of these. And I actually might have a mixing cup that I can reuse over here. I have one that had pink in it. I mean, this one had pink in it, but it's not the same pink. I think we can reuse this one. Looks like it had a very light yellow in it, but I think we can put pink in it and it'll be fine. Maybe not the clear though. Alright, so that's going to be our pink, and our pink just had some of this in it, I believe. A little bit of holographic glitter. Kind of hard to see. It's always hard to show off holographic stuff on camera just because of the lighting. But it's very rainbowy. It's even more rainbowy in person. But let's see. Let's add a little bit of that. And I usually add my... That is literally what I have these labeled in my shop. That's what these... That was literally what these were called. Was fairy dice. So you hit the... Either I hit the nail on the head there, or you hit the nail on the head there. One way or another. Alright. So I'm going to add a little bit of this. And I don't need very much, because I'm not actually going to be using a lot of resin here. I just want a little bit to kind of add a little bit of sparkle to the resin. That's probably going to be enough there. Really just very little. And that should be enough of that. I usually try to add kind of my dry ingredients. Gave you fairy vibes? Yeah, that's exactly what I'd call them. That's really funny. It's funny that we had the exact same thought. But they're just all pink and glittery and sparkly. Yeah, so I usually add my dry ingredients first to my cups, and then I'll pour the resin, and then I'll add my dry ingredients. I'm not cooking. What am I talking about? My pigments and additives, I guess. Usually add those first, so that I don't have to mess with them with all my sticky fingers once I'm covered in resin. But the liquid ones, just doesn't make sense to me to add them. Add them before I do the resin, because I don't want them to dry or anything. Alright, and we're going to add a little bit of iridescent flake. That's probably... I always feel like I need more than I think I do, so we'll add a couple more. Some iridescent flake. I get the lid on. And some gold foil. And this, I don't think I need very much of this either. Because again, I'm not going to be doing a lot of resin there. Really, very little resin. It's kind of surprising, like, how little resin things take. It always seems like it ends up taking less than I think on like jewelry stuff, and then more than I think on dice stuff. I don't know. Such is the way that it goes, I suppose. Set that off to the side. Cool. I think that's all good. We're gonna try to match it to these dice, so I'm gonna leave those off to the side as a reference. This is just gonna have clear resin on it. The tray here is just gonna have clear resin, because I want to be able to see the cool dark design that is on the front. So we're just gonna do clear. I'm just gonna kind of use whatever leftover resin I have, and end up putting it here. I don't know how that. Sorry, I'm just like, it's not even, but I think we're okay. Alright, let me make sure I have the plant dice. They're just going to have clear as well, so don't need to worry about that. This set, I don't know what I'm doing here. Like I said, I'm still open to suggestions. I have little kind of flowers in here. I'm thinking of trying out just some big glitter. This is kind of an experiment to see what happens. So, I'm just going to add my glitter to my cup here. Alright. And we'll see. Like I said, I don't usually work with the big chunky glitter like this. Just because, and there's actually a reason that I don't. And I think I can now, but glitter like this does not suspend very well in the resin. It all like sinks to the bottom usually. And so it's just more tricky. Like there's ways to make it kind of suspend. But like especially when I first started doing resin and stuff, I didn't really know those. And so I just ended up not doing a ton with the glitter, and I just have continued to not do much with the glitter. So we're going to see if we can get it to suspend well. Really the main trick is I'm going to pour this last. You want the resin to be much thicker. You want it to be very, very thick when you pour stuff that has a bunch of glitter in it. And then it's, you know, harder for the glitter to sink to the bottom in the really thick resin, and it just, you know, cures quick enough and stuff that it's just not going to have a chance. Okay, so I think for these dice, I'm going to do a dirty pour, which is where we put all of the colors into one cup and then pour that into the molds. And I want to have a brown one, which I might have one I can use for that. Oh look, this had brown in it. Let's use that. I have a brown one, which is going to be the main color that's going to go into this thing. So I'm going for kind of a tea sort of look to it. So we're going to have that, and then I'm going to have like a kind of shimmery-ish white. Throw that to my scrap resin. So the liquid ones, I'm not going to do that yet. The shimmery white, do I want to add a little bit of shimmery brown? No, I'm going to do the copper. The shimmery white I will add to a cup now though. I'll pull out a clean one since we're doing white. And so a set of dice like this takes about 30 milliliters of resin. So I'm going to try and take that into account when I figure out how much of the pigments I need. There we go. This is good. So like I said, I want it to be, the majority of it to be kind of the light brown. So maybe 2-to-1 ratio. We'll do 20 milliliters of the brown and then 10 milliliters of this white. So maybe we'll try that. I might even end up doing less than that. I'm just going to add that, I think, which is actually quite a bit for this pigment. This stuff goes a long ways. And then we might end up adding like a drop of white ink as well, and that'll make it a little bit more opaque, but we'll see how it looks. So there's that. I think that is everything. So I think we can actually get to pouring resin now, which is always the fun part. Let me grab my safety equipment. That includes gloves and my fancy Darth Vader respirator. So I'm gonna be a little bit muffled for the rest of the stream. Just a heads up, this is what I'm gonna sound like. But I will try to speak as clearly as possible. So let me I got my mixing cup here. Got a stir stick. But yeah, you know, better to be safe than sorry with resin fumes. You know, wanna be safe. Let me grab my resin down. So I'm using I have a cardboard box there. I'm using a 2-part resin. So one of these is a resin, one of them is a hardener. So I'm gonna pour half and half of these. This is a equal amounts of both kind of resin. But give me just a second, because I can't measure and talk at the same time. I will tell you my story of why after I finish pouring, but feel free to chat amongst yourselves while I get this measured out. I'll be right back. Yes. Okay. And there's the actual resin. Make sure that's, yep. And then we're going to add the hardener. And you want to make sure that these are in the proportions that it says, otherwise it won't cure right. So I'm trying to be as accurate as possible here. Just a little more. Alright, that should be good. Put this away. Alright. I'm back for a while. We're going to be stirring for a bit. Yeah, the story that I always like to tell, and it's not like much of a story, but the reason that I cannot measure and I cannot pour and talk at the same time, the example that I always give of that is I was pouring myself a cup of tea one day, and I was actively looking at my teacup while holding the kettle, and I proceeded to overfill my teacup and spill hot water all over the counter. I just got distracted thinking about something else, and while I was in the middle of pouring a cup of tea, and just forgot I was pouring a cup of tea while I was actively looking at it. So it's just better for everybody if I pay attention to actually measuring things. Don't end up with resin everywhere. That seems like a bad idea. Oh yeah, this is gonna take a minute. There's kind of three main things that will make it so that the resin doesn't cure properly. I'm sure there's other things too, but the three that I always think of, one of them is not measuring them correctly. So you want to make sure that you have your equal parts, or whatever it says on the bottle. I have one that's like 2-to-1 by weight. I haven't done much with that one. I should try that one a little bit more. Oh man, I've got hair. Just a second. Just a second. Push that behind my ear. It's like tickling my ear. Make sure that the resin is in the appropriate ratio. That's the word I'm looking for. Appropriate ratio. The second one is not mixing it enough, not mixing it properly. You can kind of see it's very kind of cloudy, and see all those lines, those streaks in there? That's where it's still mixing together, so you have like part A and part B are right next to each other. They're not actually mixed up. And so I want to mix this until it's a lot clearer and there's no more of those streaks at all. If you have any of those streaks, then it's a big glob of either part A or part B, and it's just not going to cure. And then actually the third thing I always think of is moisture. Resin does not like water at all, and that's part of the reason you do dried flowers and stuff. You don't want to do fresh flowers because there's all sorts of moisture in there, and that'll just make it so that the resin stays all sticky. The inks that I use, so all of the colorants and stuff that I use, are alcohol inks, because the alcohol doesn't react with the resin. It's just water. I do think maybe these might be water-based, but I use so little of them that it ends up not mattering. But for moisture just doesn't do well with it. All right, this is gonna take a minute. Yeah, there's still a lot of streaks in here. I'm gonna make sure to scrape the sides, scrape the bottom. We're just gonna keep mixing. Yeah, so I usually work in batches of about 100 milliliters of resin, which is usually about 3 sets of dice. Because a set of dice like this is, about 30 milliliters, so 3, 6, 9, just about 90, and then just because of how I measure it, I do it in 20 milliliter increments, so I end up with 100. So I, usually do about 3 sets of dice at a time. We're doing a bunch of kind of little things today, because these ones don't take nearly as much resin. They take between 15 and 20 milliliters of resin, so just a little bit more than half the amount of a 7-piece set. So we can do a couple of those along with our other projects over here. Yeah, this is still has lots of streaks in it. Yeah, I tend to over mix my resin a little bit, so it's not mixed right now, but I tend to mix it a little bit of extra, because the bubbles are not a concern for me. I'm more worried about, curing properly. I have a pressure pot, so I take all of my resin pieces and I put them in that, and then put them under a whole bunch of pressure with an air compressor, and leave them in that while they cure. So they're under about 40 psi of pressure while they cure all my resin pieces. And that takes all of the bubbles in them and squishes them down really small until you can't even see them. So I don't want like a lot of extra air in there, because that can cause all sorts of weird gaps and stuff in the resin. It doesn't do well with those air bubbles, but the little tiny air bubbles won't even be able to see them. So a little bit of extra air is not going to be an issue. I want to make sure that there's no streaks in it, first and foremost. I can still see some. I'm just kind of wiping this off because I've found that the stuff that's on the stir stick is not always stirred. It ends up with kind of a layer around it, and I don't know which kind of whether it's part A or part B, but maybe it's both. Oh, hi Sigilin, how you doing? How you doing? We're working on all sorts of little projects today. Oh, I'm trying to get this started. I can still see some streaks in here, so we're still stirring. We're still stirring. Yeah, I know, exactly. That's what I'm making sure that I scrape the sides and the bottom. And I always do that at the very end of when I think I have everything mixed too, just to double check. You missed 1.5 hours? Oh gosh, it has been 1.5 hours. So I'm doing a couple different things. I'm making a necklace to match this set of dice. We're going to be pouring a layer on. Yeah, it's just a stream of me stirring for 1.5 hours. We're going to be pouring a layer on this tray, and then we've got a few different things. We've got some like planty dice, little flowers and stuff in them, and I'm going to try doing kind of like a tea chai themed set with some browns and some whites and that sort of fun stuff. What are you up to? Anything fun today? Cute. You're sappy. Hey, I'm not going to complain if you're going to compliment the things I'm making. Have I ever tried adding tea to dice? I haven't. I have added various spices to resin before. I can show you that. Ooh, you hopefully made your first good cat mold today. That's exciting. There's definitely still streaks in here. You're making dice, right? You're also making dice? I assume so if you have cat molds. Are you doing like all of them in a single mold? Oh, you really want blanks? You have no idea how to get started in 3D printing. That's fair. I should figure out how to 3D print some blanks too. I've just ordered mine in the past. I ordered my masters from someone else. Oh, okay, cool. To be fair, that's what I used to do too. Some people prefer it with all of them in one mold. A lot of people have it like that. I have mine in separate molds just for my own convenience. That's right. That makes sense. To be fair, I just use Legos. So this is, for anybody who's curious, this is how I make my molds. This is how I make my molds, so that's Legos and packing tape. And it's really nice because you can make whatever size you need. Yeah, to be fair, originally I did it completely different. I have one of my original molds down here. But here's one of my original molds. Here's one of my original molds. It's a lot kind of messier than my other ones. Because I had just like a circular thing that I put tape around for that. Oh, it's very small. Okay, that makes sense too. To be fair, one of the things that I like about doing it with the Legos and the packing tape is that you can stick the die directly to the packing tape, and so you don't end up with any resin, or not resin, any silicone that ends up like underneath the die. You end up with like a very like clean face, I feel like. Alright, this is looking pretty good. Let me just scrape the sides once more. I got distracted with mold making and forgot I was stirring. Let me just scrape the sides. Make sure I don't see any streaks in here. Scrape this. Alright, I think we're good to go. Alright, let me divvy this up into our various containers. Sure, I can post photos in the Discord. I do also have a VOD on YouTube of how I make my molds. It's from a little while ago, but I think it's still accurate. I'm just about to actually start casting the dice. I just finished mixing the resin. So we want about 20 milliliters of this, I think. This is going to be kind of the brown color. Alright, and we want about 10 of this. And this is going to be a white to kind of mix with that. Kind of a more opaque white. Oh, you know what I should put in this? I should put a little bit of the... I have a white to gold kind of shimmer. I should add a little bit of that to that. Alright, let's start adding the clear to these. These have all sorts of plants in them, and so honestly, I kind of want to do them first, because these are the most likely to get air trapped. Just to get Catmull. And so it's going to be easier for the air to travel to the surface while this is a little bit more runny, and it's going to get a little bit thicker as we go. So I'm going to add it to this first to let all of that air rise to the surface, hopefully, and then we can fill it with more resin as we go, as is needed. Plus, I want to get this one done because it's one of my commissions, and I'd like to get those done, you know, within a certain time frame. Have that out. Oh, okay. Well, have a good sleep. Thanks for stopping by. It was good to see you. Sort, as it were. Alright, so let's see. Alright, so let me get the resin in these, and then we'll move on to what we have next. Yeah, so you can kind of even watch the resin sink into these. I think it'll focus. But yeah, you can see the resin kind of sink down. It's not in focus, but you can still kind of see it. It never wants to focus where I want it to focus. It never likes to focus where I want it to focus. Anyways, it needs more resin in it because it all sank down to the bottom, but it took a minute because of all that stuff in the way. So we're gonna set these off to the side. I have a little tray here that I tend to put everything on, so I can put it into the pressure pot nice and easy. So I'm just gonna set these on here for now. I'm gonna set them to the side so that they can start letting. Oh, am I? Am I quiet? Is that a little bit louder? To be fair, I know that this makes me a little bit muffled, but it's saying that I'm like at a reasonable decibel level, I think. Is anybody else having problems hearing me? I do want to know if it's on my end or not. Whoa! Who's texting me? I don't know who else is here, but yeah, if anybody else could chime in and let me know if I'm really quiet for them too, that would be good. I did just up the volume a little bit. I've got a little bit of that gold, I think. People are texting. I should probably turn off my notifications. Let's see, where is that gold? Here it is. So this is a white to gold color. I think it'll add a little bit of warmth to this white, which would be nice. Just add a little tiny bit. And hopefully that will make it kind of a warmer white color. So I have a little bit of that gold shimmer. Man, I think it's probably the friends that I'm having dinner with later. That'd be my guess. Probably who's texting me right now. Alright. And then I think maybe a drop of white. I was asking if I'm a little bit quiet. I'm wondering how the volume is. Because Sigilin was saying that I was hard to hear. So I'm just curious. And I'm mixing up my colors. This one's going to be a white with kind of a white and gold shimmer to it a little bit. It's mostly white. I'm just going to go with our kind of not coffee, but our tea themed one. But yeah, so if I'm quiet, I would like to know. That's really what's going on at the moment. Alright, so this set over here. That's getting clear anyways. So this one is going to get about a little bit between 15 and 20 milliliters. This is going to go into a set of the fate dice as well. I don't have enough. We'll see if I have enough to coat this. I think I should. Oh, actually, here I need just a drop of. A bit hard to hear. Huh. Weird. Give me just a second. I wonder if my just a second. Let me check my settings. Well, it's in the same spot that I usually have it. It's tied to the webcam, but I'm wondering if it's just a different. Yeah, I don't know if it's different than usual. That's the thing. Properties. Let me see. Okay, let's see. Is that any different? I'm wondering if that's any different. Because no. That's right. Okay, is that any different? There's a couple of different like options here, so I'm curious. That went lower? Okay. So that's background noise. What is So is this one better then? I don't know why it's so quiet. I don't know why it would be any quieter than usual. I may have to get a different microphone or something. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, it actually does. This one does look quieter. Okay, just a second here. We're doing troubleshooting. We're doing troubleshooting. Can I go? No, I can't go higher. I have it cranked up all the way on my end too. I have it cranked up all the way on my end. Alright, yeah. I'll have to take a look at that. I'll probably do that off stream. If you guys can hear me, then that's good, but yeah. Probably take a look at that off stream. See if I can do a different microphone or something. I don't necessarily want like an external microphone here because it would get covered in resin. I'm sure you understand. But if you can't hear me, then that's an issue. What am I making? Right this second I'm working on a keychain to go with this set of dice over here that are kind of just sitting here. Let me spritz those actually. So I'm going to spritz those with a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and that will help break the surface tension and help the bubbles pop. But just putting a little bit of resin into a mold here for a keychain to go with that. I set that off to the side. Alright. And then I need a little bit of resin for this. This is another keychain, or not a keychain, this is going to be a necklace that I'm making. But it's going to be another one of the little crystal shapes. And then in here, but mostly dice. Mostly we're making dice. Alright. Yay! Your mold is a success! That's good! Feel free, yeah, I'd like to see photos of it in the Discord. See how it turned out. Alright, so that extra resin is going to end up on our tray here, but I'm going to give that a second and get everything else figured out. So this is going to be, if I don't throw everything, so it's going to be pink. With another little bit of holographic glitter. Hopefully that's the right pink. I think it should be. I think once it, yeah, that looks like the right pink. I was kind of worried for a second it'd be the wrong pink, but I'm pretty sure that's the right pink. And that's got some holographic glitter in it. Do you need any more holographic glitter, or is that a good amount? I think it's an okay amount of holographic glitter. And then this one is just clear, but it has iridescent flakes and gold foil in it. And then these are just going to get poured together. This is going to use a little bit more holographic. A little bit more holographicness to it. And then a little bit more holo glitter. Alright, perfect. So let's add this to our mold here. Get this all done. We're going to add our clear with our gold and our iridescent flakes up to about halfway-ish. And then we're going to add our pink. Our pink with our glitter. And those will probably mix together a little bit, but that's good. I kind of want it to. Alright, we actually have a bit of leftover. Although my glitter's probably going to sink. We're going to set this up to the side. I might make a second one of these once the resin has set up a little bit. Because like I was saying before, with the glitter sinking, the holographic glitter will also sink. So I may need to, I might make another one of those towards the end. Now that I'm thinking about it. Okay, so we've got our, that's why I hadn't done this yet. I have our ones over here that have the plants in them. They could use just a little bit more resin. You know, I did these first so that the air could travel out of the plants and up to the surface. So now that it has a little bit, I'm going to add a little bit of resin there. And I'm going to add a little bit to the lid as well. It's not as important for these fate dice, the ones with the pluses and the minuses. Because there's no like numbers for air to get trapped in, but I like to add a little bit anyways. It's good to have just a little bit of extra resin. Because I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to be putting these into the pressure pot. and all the bubbles are going to get squished down really, really small. And so that means that I'm going to need extra resin to fill those spaces. There needs to be something to take the place of all of that air. This just has some glitter in it. And I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to be pouring this one probably last because I want this glitter to stay suspended. And it's going to try and sink if the resin's still runny. Now I'm going to drop this. And that's just a kind of a pearlescent. We're going to see how that looks mixed in. See if it makes it a little bit shimmery, which is what I'm going for. Yeah, I think it does. Yeah, it adds a little bit of just kind of a shimmer to it. Yeah, still debating if I want to do any kind of sort of color with this, but I don't know. Don't know. Maybe a little bit of that pink or something, but I'll set that off to the side. Alright, we can do these. This is going to be the tea themed ones. I know someone asked earlier if I've ever put tea. Yeah, I haven't done actual tea in dice, but yeah, that might be kind of cool. Make a set of tea themed dice. We're going to try and make a brown. I don't actually have a brown color. So we're going to try and make our own. And so to do that, I'm going to mix some complementary colors. And these aren't actually complementary, but I'll do a drop of orange, tea themed. Yeah, I feel like that'd be cool. It has like tea leaves in it. And maybe, you know, I could even do every dye different. So, you know, I could do like tea leaves in one. I could do like maybe a liquid core with like a shimmery sort of not like a tea colored shimmer to it. That might be cool. I'm gonna do one that just has I don't know what all exactly I do, but so that's rather orange still. Let's add another drop. Let's add another drop of purple. But I could also just do a set that has like pretty colors and foil and then like tea leaves in it. I can see that being kind of pretty. It's looking more tea colored. It's still kind of orangish, but I feel like tea kind of is a little bit. Let's see here. Oh, that's actually pretty similar in color. Pretty similar in color. I feel like this could maybe use a little bit of yellow. I'm hoping that I don't mess everything up by adding just a drop of yellow. I want to add even less than a drop, because a little bit of yellow can actually go a long way. I don't want it to end up looking like kind of strange. Okay, that's probably going to be enough. I just wanted a little tiny bit of yellow. Kind of cut down on the redness of this. It's still pretty red, but I think just that little tiny addition maybe helped. Hopefully, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of an amber color. Hopefully it reads as tea. So we're going to do that mixed with our shimmering white over here. And then I was thinking of doing some kind of, like a little bit of copper with it as well. I'm going to do a dirty pour. So I'm going to grab this. This will make it a little bit easier to do each individual die. So I'm going to pour some of our tea. And then a little bit of our cream. And then I'm going to add, and these may not end up looking all that tea-like anyways. I'm going to add a drop of our copper. And I don't know if I even want a drop of white, but we're going to do a drop of white over with our other white. And we're going to pour that in and we'll see how it looks. Let's, why don't we start with the D6, because that's going to be probably easiest to see how things turn out. So we'll pour that into here. And I really like doing the like inks on top. They can kind of overtake, depending on how many we do, they can kind of overtake everything else, which is kind of an issue. But they add kind of like little streaks and lines whereas just adding all of the colors into the cup together as resin is kind of more, it's kind of softer in my experience. All the colors kind of blend a little different. Oh yeah, see all of the copper's ending up on top. So we might not actually be able to see all that well, but let's, yeah, just a little bit more of this. Ooh! Oh no! Well, perfect. Just the amount I needed. Yeah, it's a little bit red still, but alright. That's the thing with, if you couldn't tell by my workspace what my resin working is like, well, that's fine. That'll get cleaned up in a bit. I was just having a little tiny bit more to fill in the last little bit of the D6 here. Alas, alack. Yeah, this might, I don't know, well, it might not end up looking very chai-like, we'll see. But I do think I'm going to like the colors either way, and that's kind of the more important thing. Let's add a little bit to the lid. So, yeah, maybe not necessarily chai, but you can see the browns and the whites in there. We'll see how it turns out. It's kind of hard to tell at this stage, to be honest. Kind of hard to tell how exactly it's going to turn out. Add just a little tiny bit more resin there, because to make up for the stuff that I spilled. Shouldn't affect anything too much. Alright. And we're just going to do that all the way down the line. So let's do that for the D20. And we're going to do the same, yeah. That's kind of one of the fun things, to be honest, is like, even if it doesn't necessarily turn out how I expected it to, it usually at least turns out fun. So, you know, it's rarely an actual loss. Rarely a loss. Alright, let's do the D20. All of our colors in there. I'm kind of wiggling it back and forth because I'm trying to get some of those stripes and stuff in there with the inks. Kind of want to get everything swirled together a bit. Yeah, I did coffee dice a while back. I really should. I was just about to say that I made coffee with milk dice a while back. I can go find photos of those, but yeah, I should really make those again because they turned out really fun. Speaking of drinks, I guess. But yeah, you should go for it. That's kind of a fun thing to do. The coffee and cream. Yeah, that was a pure coincidence. Your thing popped up like right as I was saying it. But with the delay and everything, that was not planned. It just made me think of it. It just made me think of it with the tea dice that, you know, coffee dice are. You know, I should bring those back at some point too. Alright, let's get that. Like I said, I want a little bit of extra resin. I want it to be kind of domed a little bit. And that's because I need... Oh, you made it so it was too dark. That's fair. I feel like that's easy to do with the brown. This D6 could use a little bit more. We're going to add another drop to the D6. Because it needs a little tiny bit more. Alright. And we're going to do the same thing. Yeah, this is still kind of red. It's really more red than I was hoping for, but that's okay. There's also different kind of colors of tea. Maybe it's hibiscus tea. Hibiscus tea is like bright red. I know I said chai, but like, oh well. No, hibiscus, to be fair, hibiscus tea is just kind of fun, like with the color. My brother and I at one point decided we were going to make our own tea blends, which we did. What should you make in your new cat mold? Oh man, I don't know what kind of things do you like making dice? Like, do you have a certain, like, do you have a favorite?
Like, I really like doing dirty pours like this. I also really like, I don't know what materials you have. If you have mica powders, I've been really into doing like mica powder, like kind of drop swirls recently. Those have been fun. You really like dirty pours and Petri? Then do one of those. You should do one of those. I'm still not the best at Petri. That one, Petri always, I never know how it's going to turn out. So you should do a Petri and show me up. That's what you should do. Yeah, that's kind of how you do the mica sort of Petri. Yes, as long as you pack the resin with enough mica, it's gonna sink down to the bottom. I can show you an example. I have a couple of them over here, and I think I'd do it maybe slightly different. But here, let me grab a big example so I can show you. So I did. I'll grab this one. I did this one sort of recently. If it'll focus. I didn't really let it thicken first, but also I ended up with, a whole bunch down on the bottom. So I don't know, it might work better if you let it thicken first a little bit. But yeah, so I went and I did the resin and then I put all of those on the top, and since they were so chock full of the mica, which is, it's a rock, so it's heavier than the resin, it all kind of sank. But it makes it so shimmery and it's just fun. So I've been really into doing those recently. Those are fun to do. I feel like they always turn out so pretty. Oops. So I'm gonna make Captain America dice that are red and blue. Oh, well, you could do that one. To be fair, you could do Captain America dice with like those colors using the like mica. I don't know what materials you have and stuff. Using like the mica drop swirl, or this is gonna be way too much of that. So we'll finish filling this in over here. There's lots of different designs. I think you have pretty much everything. Oh, okay. Oh, hey Omar, how you doing? I'm pouring resin. Oh, so we're deciding what Sigilin should pour in the new cap mold. While I attempt to not make more of a mess like I already did, spilling resin everywhere. I think it's starting to get maybe a little bit thicker, which is honestly good for a couple of the other designs that I want to do. I added way too much white on that last one. I ended up with 2 drops instead of 1 drop. It's okay to be messy. Well, that's good, because I'm going to be, whether it's okay or not. I've always made a mess doing arts and crafts, so this is nothing new. I'm not, yeah. Doesn't matter what the arts and crafts is either. I'm gonna make a mess, but that's part of the fun of it. I like making a mess. I always enjoyed like playing in the garden as a kid. Like, you take the hose out there into the garden and just make a giant puddle of mud. Oh man, I loved playing in the mud as a kid. I've always liked making a mess. I mean, I've always liked painting and stuff too. Making a mess with that. I always end up like covered in paint. I feel like I've gotten actually a little bit better at not getting covered in paint. Like I can paint without getting it all over myself, but where's the fun in that? Hopefully I have enough resin though. That's the real concern here that I'm having. Even the stuff that there's no way of getting messy. Somehow you managed to be clumsy with it. Yeah. Yeah, that's me pretty much. Okay, I have enough of that. That is me pretty much. Alright, let's pour this into our D8. Oh, so let's see. What sort of arts and crafts do you do, Blue Moon, or are you talking about something else you're gonna get all messy with? Also playing in the mud. Man, it's been so long since I've played in the mud. I haven't done that since I was a kid. Oh man. Yeah. That's weird to kind of think about. It's just like, oh, it's been literally years since I've played in the mud in my mom's garden. And that was so much fun. So we can get this into the D10 here. Oh, sorry, I was just asking if you did any arts and crafts as well. Go play in the mud? I mean, I might as well. Like, there's nothing stopping me. There's nothing stopping me. Okay, I think I'm just gonna pour the rest of this into my cup here. But yeah, I was just wondering if you do any arts and crafts stuff. Oh hey, Omar, if you're still here, am I quieter than usual? Or am I the same volume as usual? You don't lately... Oh, okay, just been watching Making Arts and Crafts. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Like, you know, I wonder, like... Never did Resin. It is a lot of fun. I think Resin is a lot of fun. There's just, like, endless possibilities with it, because as long as it's, like, dry, you can add pretty much whatever you want to it. So I have all sorts of random test chips and stuff over here I can show you, where I've added like cumin to test, and cinnamon, and just to see what it looks like, and all that sort of fun stuff. And I don't know, there's just, you know, flowers, and I do polymer clay stuff that I then I add. Oh, I've always been on the quieter side. Okay, maybe it's just my microphone then. So it's not just a today thing though. That's what I was wondering, I guess. It's kind of funny because like on the Streamlabs, yeah, I was gonna say on Streamlabs, with the microphone thing, I'm in the like yellow area. There's like a green and then a yellow and then a red, and I'm actually in the yellow for volume supposedly. But I don't know if that's because of like background noise or something. So I don't know. Alright, there's all of that in there. Drop this. Yeah, it's kind of strange. Alright. I don't know, it might just be the microphone I have. Like I was saying, maybe I should just get a different microphone for down here. Because I am just using the one that's built into the webcam. The other one that I tried was the one that's built into the computer that I'm using. So, like, you know, it is not super close to me. But again, the problem is just, where do I, like, put a microphone that's not going to get in the way and not going to get covered in resin. Because I don't want a microphone to get covered in resin. It wouldn't work out well. Mic arm, yeah, that's probably what I end up having to do. I'd probably do something like over the top of the computer here. That would probably work. That would probably work. Maybe I'll, yeah, I think that's probably the way that I'd want to do it. Oh man, I'd have to figure out what sort of microphone and everything though. That's the part that I always find hard, is like deciding on like what to get. Man, I don't know. That part's just always hard for me. It's just like, man, I don't know what's good. All of these seem good. I don't know which one I want. Someone else just decide. What do I get? But yeah, that seems like a good idea. I don't know if I have the funds for it right now. I might actually set up some sort of like, yeah, that's probably what I'll do. I'll probably ask around a bit. Yeah, I'll probably do that. That's what I was gonna say. I might actually, I never do that. I didn't really plan to do that, but it is something specifically for the stream, so I might actually set up some sort of donation goal. Or something like that for a new microphone. Oh, you want a second cam? The computer that I'm using, a friend lent it to me because he wasn't using it. And I was talking about, man, I could really use a second computer for this space. It's like, well, here, just take this one. I'm not using it. It's just gonna sit around otherwise. But it has a built-in front-facing webcam, and then I have an actual webcam that I had for my normal computer. And so I'm actually using the built-in webcam that's looking at me, and then I have a secondary webcam that is attached to my monitor. So it worked out really well, yeah. Alright, okay. Excellent, I had just enough resin. Perfect. And I think things are starting to get a little bit thicker, so that's good. We can do our glitter one. Yeah, you could possibly use your laptop. That's a good point, actually. Yeah, use your laptop and then have a webcam, a USB webcam that you plug in. That might work. Alright, so I think we do actually have clear that we can use for this. So let's add our clear to this. So hopefully this ends up working out. Oh, angelic choir singing. You're gonna try that? Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I'd be interested to see how that works out. All right. I don't actually want this to go down into. Yeah, I'm gonna need more resin. I need more resin for this. That's okay though. I just don't want to smooth everything out, to be honest. Let me move this around. Let me move this around all the sides and try and get it to spread out. I don't necessarily actually want it up against the sides, but I want it to end up in all of the different nooks and crannies. So there's little bits that are kind of sticking out of the bottom because of how I made this with the metal chains in it. And so I need to cover those up, but I'm going to need more resin, I can already tell. And I kind of knew that. I know that one of these trays really takes about 100 milliliters of resin. And I did 70 or so, I think. And then I was going to do, 30 or so for the bottom, but I think I only had 15 to 20 here. So we'll probably end up doing another layer, but it's just clear, so I don't have to try and match it, so that'll be fine. I'm just trying to get it so that the whole thing has resin on it so that it will self-level itself. Alright, there we go. I think there's resin touching all of it now. So, I'm going to spritz this down. And this is actually going to go into the pressure pot as well. I have a double-decker thing over here. I have a way to put more than one layer in the pressure pot. That's this thingy. I'm going to put it on the bottom of that. Oops, I missed a spot. That spot right there didn't have any. That spot right there. I'm just doing this. Yeah, that's getting kind of thick. That's interesting. All right, let's get our let's get our last set of dice here poured, and then I think maybe, yeah, I'm gonna try redoing the necklace there. I keep saying keychain. The necklace there, because the resin might be thick enough now that it won't all sink. The glitter won't all sink to the bottom. That's what I'm hoping, anyways. All right. This actually might not be thick enough. How is this looking? Yeah, this is still pretty thin. So it's actually, that's still pretty thin, and part of that is because there's so little of it in that cup. I've found that if you have more resin all in one place, it gets warmer, and then that makes it cure a lot faster. And so this is actually thicker than this. This one's cured more than this, I think. It might be close, but this one's definitely warmer. This one, I'm still curious to see how that turns out. All right, let's spritz these. Spritz everything down. Make sure this is spritzed down. Oh, good. That's kind of leveled itself. Yes, I'm not gonna need more, but that's fine. And let's, I think, let me, if I can, I'm gonna start putting some lids on things, just to get everything out of the way, and I can start putting things where I want them. I'm just kind of pushing down some of the flowers that are floating a little bit. I don't see any giant air gaps. I think this lid can actually go on. So I'm going to do that. I'm not going to squish down or anything. I do want that little bit of extra resin in there. Because I like I said, I need that little extra bit of resin to fill up all the air gaps. I'll do the same thing here. And make sure everything is in the mold. And then we'll put this lid on as well. So that one has a little bit more extra, you can see. I just want to make sure that the lid is in the right spot, and it's going to fall into the right spot as it sinks down a little bit. Alright, these, we're going to give these another second, and that's partially because the air is still rising to the surface in there. I just want to move some of them out of my way a little bit so we can get our last little things all figured out. Oh, this is our little necklace here. That's fine. Those are out of the way enough that it's fine. Okay, so we've got our glittery stuff. It's pink. I think it might be thick enough now. It's definitely thicker than it was. So I think it might still hear everybody cast. Ooh, that's exciting. That's exciting. I look forward to seeing what you make. Yeah, I think that might be thick enough. Like I said, I just want the glitter to stay suspended, and that's, you kind of have to pour it at the right time. So you kind of have to pour it at like the last second, to a certain extent. I think I might actually be pouring this a little bit early, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll find out. It is kind of glittery pink goo at the moment, yes. It is very much glittery pink goo. So we're gonna put the glittery pink goo into the molds. But it might not be gooey enough. it might not be gooey enough. That's the thing. I might want it to be a little bit thicker than this. But I guess we'll see. Put some on the lid. It's getting thicker, I think. We might be good. It's just kind of close. Like I said, it's just kind of finicky to get the glitter to stay suspended. So we'll see. We'll see if I did it. No, you know, this might actually be good. I think it's starting to kind of set up a little bit. So I think we're actually good. Okay. Yeah. Oh, there's a big air bubble there. And a little bit more resin. Alright, let's set this one over here as well. Why do I put them on the lids? It's more important with the ones that have numbers on them. In that case, I put them on the lids to try and prevent some air bubbles. So I don't know if you can see on the two there. You can kind of see how there's that little air bubble. I don't really want air to get trapped between the lid and the die because I don't want big pockets of air. And so I usually do just a little bit of resin on the lid so that there's no spots for air to get trapped. But also, you know, I want a little bit of extra resin just in general to fill in all of the little tiny bubbles. Like once the little tiny bubbles get squished down really, really small, I need resin to fill in that space. So it doesn't hurt anything to just have a little bit of extra resin there too. But really putting it on these lids where there's not really anywhere for air to get trapped anyways, it's just kind of habit at this point. Just because I do it with all my other dice. It'd probably be fine if I didn't. Okay, let me do one of these. So I did this already, but well, I worry that all the glitter will have sunk. So we're gonna do a second one with all of this because I don't want all of the glitter to sink to the bottom. I worry that it has in that other one, but this one's thicker, so it's thicker now, so it should stay suspended probably a little bit better. Guess we'll find out. But let's get all of that in there. All right. How much is there? I think there's enough. Let's get the last little bit of resin in there. It's definitely a little bit messier just because of how I'm getting it in there. It's not as runny, so it's kind of sticking to the sides more. But that might be fine. I think it'll end up looking good. That's what I'm going for, is things to look good. But we'll see how it turns out. All right, let me do the pink. Make sure that the glitter's in there. It is. I'll put that in there as well. Oh, that actually was higher than I thought it was. Yeah. Alright, so let's see. We've got this. And that has a bunch of air in it, but it doesn't have a lid, so there's a spot for the air to escape, so I'm not as worried about it. So it can go here with our other ones. Just I'll move this over so you can see what I'm doing. I'm putting everything on this tray here, so it can go into the pressure pot. And just spritz everything down one last time. Again, just to try to get rid of all the bubbles. I think we can start putting some lids. This still has air coming up in it, but I think we can start putting some lids on these. These are starting to look pretty okay. Alright, so we'll start putting lids on our hopefully tea-themed dice. I do appreciate like a good neutral, to be fair. I do like a good like neutral. So even if they don't end up being like tea-themed, I think these will be kind of a good combo of colors. I'm going to get these lids on. I do have a little bit of extra resin over here that I think I'll put into a die. Because I like having extra dice. I like to spend like an extra D4 with all my 7-piece set orders. Just because, you know, I feel like it's fun. Just to get a random die bonus. There's still an air bubble there. Alright. So I like to do that. There we go, air bubbles gone. So I think I might put the extra little bit of like pink goo and other pink goo into a D4 mold. If I have one over here. And then I'll probably call it, because Yeah, I think I'm gonna need to fill up the air compressor, and that's loud. It just gets loud. Alright, let's see here. Let me make sure I have everything meshed up. I have in the past gone to like put the lid on and it was the wrong lid. I'm like, oh gosh, that doesn't work. Just made a mess everywhere. Alright, a little bit of a bubble in the 7. There we go. Hopefully that flows into the 7. We'll do the D2. The D2 is another one where there's not actually anything on this face. Some of them I have the my logo on the top, depending on what I want to make, but this one doesn't even have that anything. So it's also another flat one that I probably don't really need to put a bunch of resin on the cap, but I do anyways from habit. Let's see, here's a D4. I'm going to stack that on top of the D2 because I don't want to squish all the resin out of the D2, but I do I do want the lid to actually sink down into where it's supposed to go. So a little bit of extra weight on top of it's actually a good thing in that case. Here's our D8. And then let's see how this is doing. Oh yeah, this resin's definitely thicker. I can see things having trouble. I see the air bubbles having trouble popping. So that's actually a good sign in this case. You know, usually if the resin's getting really thick, it's just like, oh no! But in this case, I want the resin to be thick. Because I want all the glitter to stay where it is in it. I don't know why I added that little bit extra. I did not need it. Alright. I think that all the big air bubbles that I saw have risen to the surface now. Push that down a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely getting thicker. Let's put the lid on this one as well. So there's that. Make sure that I have everything in the right spot. I'm not pressing down on it, but I am kind of wiggling the lid into the right place. I want to make sure all my keys are lined up. There we go. So there's all of that. Let's put the top of that because there's big bubbles there. And then I have a little bit of extra resin here, and I don't know that I'll have enough for a D4, but yeah, might as well. Might as well put it into a D4 mold. And then if we need to, I can finish up the D4 later in a different pour. Oh, I should have done this. Oh well. I forgot that I have a set of dice over here that I'm kind of doing lots of layers of different colors and stuff. I probably should have done this into that, but that's okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna have enough for this, but that's fine. Oh, let me make sure that I put this in there too. This is the other keychain. Yeah, this is definitely getting thicker. Yeah, there's not nearly enough resin to do a full D4, but that's okay. We'll just do as much of one as we can, and then I'll add another layer of a different color later. Sometimes it does fun things. You end up with just, I don't know, weird layers of things. It's just kind of fun. Alright. Yeah, that's definitely starting to cure, which again is what I wanted. What I wanted for the stuff with the glitter in it. Do I have any? Let me see. I have maybe a little bit more clear in here. Let's see if I can put that in there and finish this off. This is just plain old clear from the cup. Do I have a favorite set? Oh man, I like that I've made, I'm assuming. I mean, I'm very fond. So, man, that is a hard question. I have a lot of different favorites for different reasons. Like, I'm very fond of like my Galaxy dice, because those were like the first ones I ever made and sold. But at the same time, I'm going to change. No, you're good. You're good. I'm trying to think now. I gotta think. It's good for me. I'm also gonna change that design. I'm actually gonna mess around with changing that design on Monday. Just because like it doesn't sand well. So I'm very fond of that one. That one's like almost like a nostalgia favorite, if that makes sense. Just like this is what started it all, kind of thing. I'm not done thinking it's required. It's good. It keeps my brain working. You know. So yeah. So there's that. But like I don't know. Like the sunrise dice I made, I really like the colors in those. If you look at my social media, I posted a photo of some of those recently. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I enjoy doing like the pond dice that I've made in the past with the little lily pads in them. Those are also a favorite of mine because, there is certain sets that like I've brought back multiple times. I feel like that's usually a pretty good indicator that either they're my favorite or they're like a crowd favorite. I think that's everything. But man, that's a hard question because there's just lots of different things that I've done and that I want to do. But no, I need to go put these. Oh, that's sticky. I don't know where I grabbed that. I'm gonna go put these into the pressure pot. So I'm gonna call it for today because that's loud. But thank you guys for stopping by. I do stream every Saturday at noon for Pacific Standard Time and Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you want to come hang out then, I'd love to have you. And hopefully I can see you guys later. Oh, here, let me post this real quick. I do have a Discord, so if you ever want to chat arts and crafts, I don't have a favorite. They're all. I was about to say that, but yeah, if you ever want to chat or see the dice like the day after I pour them, that is the place to hang out. But anyways, I will see you guys later. Yeah, it was nice to meet you too. And goodbye.